Okay. So from this, I mean, from the text that we have in the data, we can perform certain tasks. As you can see from the data that we have, we can convert into the lower, we can convert into the upper, we can find the different data that we have. So if we just try to consider the data dot lower, so data dot lower, first try to convert it to the lower format, then try to split it and assign it to the data lower, okay? As you can see from this part. What if we just wanted to perform like from this lower, we just wanted to find out the unique elements, okay? So as you can see from this part is, once it is sorted, let's say that sorted of the data that I have in this part. So it's going to give me the sorted elements. So from here, as you can see from this part is the followings are yours, and here you can see your. So how many you do we have on this document? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 views are there in this document. So what if we are looking for unique elements? So we can simply add in here to the set. Set is to mean the unique elements. So object oriented ስለሆነ እዛው ላይ ቢል ያደረግን መሄድ እንችላለን ብለናል. So if I try to run, you can see that the unique element that we have on this part is. Can you see that the unique element that we have is just only these ones, whereas the actual data that we have is this data, I think 149 elements, okay? We can count the lengths of the element after considering the lengths, okay, after removing the duplication. So that after duplication removed, there are 86 characters, 86 words, whereas on the previous case, we have seen there are 149 words. 149 worዶች ነበሩ። እነዛ 149 wordoች because of the repetitions is going to be removed. Then after that, then we come up with 86 different words. Of course, this needs also some additional processing. For example, the full stop is attached to the word. So we don't know that if there is a word that ends with the same words, then it's going to minimize, okay, some of the words. Let's say that በዘም የሚያልቅ ኖሮ መሀል ላይ ዘም የሚል ቴክስት ከመጣ ኖርማላይዝ ስናደርገው punctuation ሪሙቭ ስናደርገው full stop, question mark, exclamation, even in the other language, if you don't have ነጠላ ሰረዝ፣ ደብል ሰረዝ፣ አራት ነጥብ፣ እነዚህ የመሳሰሉትን ነገሮችን ኖርማላይዝ ስናደርግ እነዚህ ኤሌመንቶች ምን ይሆናሉ? ኢቨን ከ86 በታችን ሊወርድ ይችላል ማለት ነው, depending on the cases, okay? So let's just try to see also from this point of view, okay? Since the video is going to be shared, it doesn't matter whether I delete some file or not, okay? So let's assume that here we have the data that we have already seen in the previous one. Let's say that we do have the word list. That's one of the things. Just before I move to the looping statement, first let me try to discuss on the conditional statement, okay? Conditional statement. Now I'm going to forward this question to Cherry. Cherry, can you open your video and tell me how the conditional statement, if-else statement works in the other programming language, please? How the if-else statement works in the other programming language. Cherry, go ahead. Muted, you are muted. Unmute yourself, please. Cherry, go ahead.
ድምፁ አይሰማም እየቀዳ አይደለም።
Cherry, go ahead. Okay, I think we can't hear you because of your mic. Wulatau, can you go ahead on that one? We are going to write C++ program conditional statement if else.
Okay. If else
Yeah.
መጀመሪያ if እንትኑን ነው ኮዱን ነው የምናገረው ወይስ
Yes.
ኮንሰፕቱን ነው?
Yes, you can tell me the code or the concept, or tell me the code so that it's going to work like this one. If
in the bracket
yes,
condition ይጻፋል.
Then here we will have some expression, right? Then if this is true, then something is going to be performed.
Something is produced.
Right? Like this.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
else
if is going to be, here is going to come the expression 2, then the other case is going to be followed. Otherwise, if it's else is going to come, right? This is C++. So the syntax is not exactly the same as to these ones. So if you are considering the hello, Mehraf, can you mute yourself, please? Mehraf, can you mute yourself, please? Okay, so in using the conditional statement for the C++ is going to be like this ones, okay? But in Python, if you come to the Pythons, you are going to use the same technique, but the syntax is a bit different. So if condition is going to be included, if there is some expressions, complex expression, you can put in the left and right brace, or you can ignore as it is, okay? So if then some expression is going to come, then there is no left and right French brace. There is no brace like this ones, okay? In Python, we do have what we call the 2 dots, or the colon is going to be used in order to represent that inside that block, okay? That block ውስጥ ነው የሚለው ነገር represent ለማድረግ ማንን ነው የምንጠቀመው? We just use this line, and if I try to press enter, then automatically it's going to indent by some labels. ይሄንን enter ሳደርገው here you can see that there is some indentation in these pointers, okay? If the expressions, then I can perform whatever the thing that I just wanted to perform. Let's say that print something, then there is no else if statement, rather there is elif, else if, which is an equivalent representation for else if. So elif is going to be used, elif, then some expression is going to be followed, expression 2 is going to come, then the semicolon, then I just wanted to perform certain operation on this part, then finally we can move to the else statement, okay? The else statement, then print some other things, okay? I will try to add something on those parts. So as you can see from the expressions here, because it is inside that block code, so if I press backspace 1, then it's going to automatically move to that parts. So I can press enter and move indentation. Indentation is going to be seriously used in these parts. So if the level of indentation is not in the appropriate way, then automatically it's going to generate an error, okay? It's automatically generate an error. So if expressions print something, otherwise, else if the expression to print do something, otherwise do on the third one, okay? Let me just try to use the same concept in here. Assume that I just wanted to check that I'm going to receive some value from the users, let's say number. If the number is greater than 0, let's say that we just wanted to display that the number, comma, the value num is positive, mean negative display mark, okay? If it is greater than 0, then it is positive, okay? Positive is going to be, let me say that it is positive, okay? If the number is less than 0, if the value of the number is less than 0, then it's going to represent the number as negative. The number is going to be considered as a negative. In here, it's going to be the number is going to be considered as negative. Otherwise, the value is 0. Okay, the number is 0. Okay, so there are 3 different possibilities for the number to be. Okay, so we didn't receive the value from the users, but we need to receive that one. So in order to receive anything from the external environment, from the systems or from some other outputs, we are going to use input method, okay? Let's say that user input is equivalent to input. Input is the keyword which enable us to receive the value from the users, like cin or system.out.in, system.in እንደምንለው ወይንም ከዩዘሩ እንደምንቀበለው consider እናደርጋለን. Then whatever the thing that I'm going to put on a quotation is going to be displayed for the users. So please type here in the text that I need. I hope everybody knows what the \n is going to represent, okay? It's just to mean that the new line, right? So the \n is going to represent the new line. User input is equivalent to input. Please type here. Then the \n is going to be used. Then whatever the value that you have received from the input, it's going to be considered as a string, so that you have to cast it to the appropriate type. Since here we are dealing with numerical value, so num is equivalent to I can convert into an integer of user input, okay? The user input is going to be converted to the integer, okay? User input is equivalent to num is equivalent to user input. Then we can do whatever the thing that we'd like to perform under this practice. So let me just try to run for this ones, okay? If I try to run, as you can see from the right side, it prompts me to put some values, okay? I have to put some values. Let's say that if the value that I'm using is -6, then automatically it's going to display the number -6 is negative የሚለው ነገር display ያደርግልኛል, okay? So this is the value that I have on this part. As you can see, this is the value that I have on this part. The negative and the value negative itself is going to be displayed in this part. Mind you, whenever you are receiving some values from the user or from some other systems, always in Python it's going to be considered as string, so that you have to cast to the appropriate data type, okay? You have to cast to the appropriate data type. Otherwise, it's going to be considered as a string. So if I just forgo to do this, then automatically, and if I assign to the num to these ones, then you will see some errors. So the number in the string cannot be compared with error generated. Let's say that if I just try to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or the number 12 as an input, and if I press enter, so it's going to generate an error. So the error is the string and input, okay? Type error greater than not supported between the instance of a string and integers, okay? Integer na mana ibaza? Integer compare ከማጋር አይደረግም ከstring ጋር compare አይደረግም. So that we have to cast it to the appropriate data type in that cases. So that this is going to be the user input. This is going to be the user input, then it's going to be compared with these values. Now, everything becomes successful once we do that once, okay? Here you can see the value. If I use the number 34 on this, here you can see that the number 34 is positive, okay? So conditional statement is going to work like this ones. Of course, we do have also looping statements. So if you are trying to consider a looping statement, let the number be as it is, and let me comment out all the other parts, okay? Okay? So looping statement can also be used in the other programming language like C++. So you are going to use this kind of a structure in order to represent, okay? Int I is going to start from 0, while the value of I is less than or equivalent to some value 100. I is equivalent to I plus 1, okay? Then you open the brace and you close, then whatever the statement that you need to put, all others is going to come here, okay? So I think Spanish, you have raised your hand, please go ahead. You are muted, Spanish.
ይቅርታ ስላቋረጥኩ አይ 12 ስንጽፍ ለምን ኤረር እንዳመጣ ስላልገባኝ
ለምን ሮንግ እንዳመጣ
12
okay, on this part, on these sections, because here user input ነበር አለ ዳይሬክትሊ ያስገባውትኝ እዚህ ጋር ይሄንን ኮሜንት አደረኩትኝና እንደዚህ ነበር የሰጠሁት አይደል Just wait. So because I don't need this for the time being, so let me comment them. And the ጊዜ እስካሳያት ድረስ ይህን ኮሜንት ላድርገው. So I have used like this ones, so that this one is nothing but the number. እዚህ ጋር ያለኝ ቫልዩ ደግሞ ማን ነው? ነምን ነው ዳይሬክትሊ ተቀበልኩት። ነምን ተቀበልኩኝና ነምን ከማጋ ነው ኮምፔር ያደረኩት? ከቁጥር ጋር ነው. Because this is a string and this is the number. Number cannot be compared with the string. Numberን ከስትሪንግ ጋር ምን ማድረግ አይቻልም? ኮምባይን ማድረግ አይቻልም ወይንም ኦፕሬት ማድረግ አንችልም. That's why it's going to generate an error. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, let me lower your hand in that case. So if that is clear, then I can go ahead on this ones, okay? So let me return it back to the original one, the comment. Now, this is going to be used in order to perform the tasks, okay? For int I is going to start from 0, I less than or equivalent to 100, I is going to be I plus 1. So at every increment of I by 1 is going to be used in this scenario. So whatever the code that you have is going to come in here, but we don't have such a kind of the codes in the Python. So the equivalent representation for this one is, let's say here, we are going to output, see out the value I. So the equivalent representation for this is going to be this ones, okay? So we can use for something I, for I in range, because the value that we need to have is from 1 to 100, right? Less than or equivalent to 100. 0,101 is going to be used, then semicolon is going to be terminated, then we can print the value of I. So this is going to display number 1 from 1 to hundreds, okay? Because the number is somehow large, so that let me make it 1 to 10, okay? ከአንድ እስከ 10 ነው, less than or equivalent to no. But if you are using the range, it's going to be the last minus 1, okay? The last element is in each case is 11, so that's going to display up to the value 10. እስከ 10 ድረስ ያሉትን ቫልዩዎችን ዲስፕሌይ ያደርግልናል. 11ኛውን ዲስፕሌይ ያደርግልናል. So this is an equivalent code for this ones, okay? Of course, there are some additional things that we can perform, but for the time being, let's see this one as it is, okay? So let me save it and let me try to run the module because I didn't comment out this line, so it automatically requests me. So let me comment for the time being. Later on, we'll try to customize that once, okay? Run the module, save, okay. Then here you can see that it's going to start from 0 and it goes up to the number 10, okay? It starts from 0, the number 0, and it goes up to the number 10, okay? The last number minus 1, which is to mean 11 minus 1 is going to be 10, it's going to move up to the value 10. Of course, if we just wanted to replace, after receiving the value from the user, we can make it in here the num, okay? So from 0 up to the num, whatever the value that the user inserted is going to be mapped into this ones, okay? Please type here, let's say that I'm trying to put the value 15, then it's going to display up to the number 14, okay? It's going to display the number up to 40. So the last element is going to be excluded. If you just wanted to include the last element also, then don't forget to make it +1, okay? The num +1 of this part, okay? Not only this ones, it can also provide with some complex statements. Let's say if we do have range 0, num, so by default, every time it's going to increase the value of I by 1, these steps, okay? If I just try to use in here 2, okay? 0, num, 2, if I use this statement, then automatically the result is going to be different, okay? If I try to run, then before I run, so this to mean is to mean that, so start from the number 0 and goes to up to the number none, but the step is not every time incrementing by 1, rather it's going to increment by 2, okay? So let me try to run this one, and if I try to provide the number 25, if I use the number 25 in here, you can see what the output is, okay? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, then it's going to continue. So every even number is going to be displayed for the users, okay? Every even number is going to be displayed for the users, okay? Because the step is by 2, okay? By default, it's going to be step of 1, okay? By default, it's going to be step of 1. And we don't know that this may be some negative numbers, -5. Let's say that start from -5 and go to the some value. We can consider these cases, okay? We can consider these cases. So if you just take into account these elements, then it's going to start from the -5, then it goes up to the value that we have specified, okay? Here you can see that it's going to start from -5 and it goes up to the number 11, or I mean, not number 11, rather the number 11 minus 1, which is to mean up to 10. So that is going to start from -5 and it goes up to this point. So you can change the steps, okay? You can change the steps. In addition to that, we have also the special type of keyword, especially when we are working with looping statements. We can bring also the index, okay? We can bring also the index, okay? So in here, I can include the index comma I. Then in here, I can do enumerate. Enumerate is to mean that I just wanted to include their index value. Let's say that if you are trying to display from this number up to this one, then this is going to be 0's index, 1 index, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So for every element, the index is going to be associated with that values, okay? So here I can display the index. So if you have enumerate expect us 2 parameters for these ones. So enumerate is going to take the first value is the index, whereas the second element is nothing but the value that we want to display. So let me try to run using the same techniques, okay? So the step is by 1, then the number that I'm going to provide is still the number 11. So here you can see that the first element is -5, the second one is 4, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, and it continues like that one, 1, 2, 10, 1 to the value 10. So every of the element is going to be displayed for the users. Every of the element that we have under this part is going to be displayed for the users. So for index comma I in enumerate range, starting from the -5, it goes up to the num, okay? So this one is just for this column, whereas the I is for these values, okay? We can pass different elements. Now, let's just try to write a a Python program that accepts a number from the users and displays some elements. Elementoችን display እንዲያደርግ ፈለገን. Let's say that if I just try to take into account one example, so that here I have the number 1, number 2, 3. This is going to be the number from 1 to 25. Let's say then this is going to be this square, okay? So I can use equal power function, the number that I have in here, comma square. I'm just trying to give you some example, okay? I'm just trying to give you some examples, okay? And in here, it's going to be the Q, okay? This is going to be the Q, the power of A1, comma 3 is going to be considered under that parts. So let's assume that we just wanted to construct this kind of value. Can you see my Excel? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, good. So here we do have the number and the square and the cube, as you can see from these parts. What if we just wanted to display such a kind of numbers, okay? Simply we can do using these values, okay? Let this two start from 1 and it goes out to the number, okay? እስከ ቁጥሩ ድረስ ነው እንዴት የምንፈልገው እስከ ቁጥሩ -1 ሳይሆን እስከ ቁጥሩ ድረስ እንዴት ነው የምንፈልገው? In that case, we have to assign the -1s. In that case, we have to assign the -1 in that case. So how do I do these ones? So it's going to start from I, then I is going to be the first one is for I, for the second one is I multiplied by I is going to be considered for the square, or I can use power I comma 2 I is to mean the number, 2 is to mean the square, okay? Just like as we have used in the Excel. So we can also use I multiplied by I multiplied by I, okay? This is for the cube, this is for the square, this is for the number, and this is for the index. Okay, let's just try to see this one, then I'll try to customize accordingly later on, okay? So if I just try to put the number 15, here is the value that we have in that places. So the number, this is the index. So I just wanted to make the index to start from 1. So this is going to be 1 in the next step, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, this is the number, this is the square, this is the cube, okay? This is the number, this is the square, this is the cube. The number, the square, the cube. Then it's going to proceed like that once. If I just wanted to display one after the others, I can concatenate. This is, by the way, any kind of data can be concatenated in this ways, okay? And since all the values are numeric value, if I try to use a plus sign, then it's going to sum all those values, okay? It's going to sum all those values, okay? So you have to be careful, okay? In this case, then it's going to display 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. 3 is going to be displayed in the first one. On the second one, 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 3, 12 plus 3. 15 is going to be this one, 3, 15. And the next is going to be 41. And it's going to continue like that one. So you have to provide appropriate data type. So here, str is to mean casting to the string data type. The string data is going to be concatenated with another string. str is going to be used for this one too. And the same thing applies for this one. str is going to be used. That is to mean the string data type. Then the last element is going to be also converted to the string data type. So as you can see from these parts, all the elements have been converted to the string data type, and it is concatenated. So the result is going to be the same, but there is no any space between them, okay? There is no space between them, okay? If I try to put the number 15, so here you can see that there is no space between them. So I can incorporate the tab space. How we are going to add the tab space in the other programming language? Tab in C++ type tab እንዴት ነው represent የሚደረገው? tab እንዴት ነው represent የሚደረገው በረከት?
NSB
NSB is non-breaking space in HTML, right? NSB is non-breaking space in HTML, yeah.
/t.
Backslash t is going to be used, so that here I can put backslash t is going to be used in this place, okay? So it's going to give me the tab space between every element, okay? በእያንዳንዱ ኤሌመንቶች መካከል space provide እንዲያደርግልን I can use these ones. Now let me try to run the module. So save it, yes. Now if I try to provide the number 15, you can see that it is well aligned, okay? እዚህ ጋር well aligned አድርጎልናል፣ display አድርጎልናል every element is, okay? Every element have been well aligned, and we can go ahead on these ones. I think we are left with 9 minutes. If it's going to terminate again, don't forget to come in again, okay? እንደገና መግባታችሁን አትዘንጉ. We will try to add one more sessions beside these ones, okay? አንድ ሌላ ሴሽን እንጨምራለን። 3 ሴሽን ነው የሚኖረን በተገናኘን ቁጥር። Do we agree on that one? Okay, Barakat, thank you. So this is just for the concatenation. This is just for the concatenation. We just wanted to display every element. I think because the class is online, I can't give you some times to exercise on these ones. You will do it by yourself, okay? At home, right? እየተስማማን ነው? HP እየተስማማን ነው? መርጊያ ተስፋነሽ ምዕራፍ በረከት ዩሱፍ አማኑኤል and Abdulkader. Good. Okay. If everything is clear, then I can proceed on the next one. So we have seen some of the things that we can perform in the conditional statement, some of the things that we can perform in the looping statement. So we have also seen in here, we can display some of the elements of the text. Textaችንን እዚህ ጋር add አድርገናል. Let's say in here we do have the values, okay? At the top we have a text called data is equivalent to video provides a powerful way, blah 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 blah, okay? So that this has been lowered. Let me try to convert into the small case, then split is going to be applied. What if I just wanted to manipulate these data, okay? Let's say that for data or for here we have word list. Here we have the word list. So data.lower.split is going to make the word to be tokenized into the word level, right? አይደለም ወደ word level ነው convert የሚያደርግልን ብለናል tokenize እዚህ ጋር lower ስናደርግ ወደ small case, and this is going to make it to the split. So for word in word list in this specific case word underscore list is going to be considered word list, then we can print, okay? We can print the number of the element that we have word, okay? For word in word list word ካልኩኝ then every word is going to be displayed. Video መጀመሪያ display ይደረግልኛል, ከዛ provides, ከዛ powerful, ከዛ እያለ ሁሉንም ዴታ display ያደርግልኛል, okay? Every element is going to be displayed one after the others, okay? So in this first, let's just try to see as it is. If I try to run, then you can see that every word of them is going to be displayed, okay? That is to mean the 149 word that we have under this partes, okay? So Yusuf, can you hear me? Yusuf, okay, Yusuf ይሰማል? ድምፅህ አይሰማኝም? I think ማይክ እየሰራ አይደለም. Okay, let me move to the Abdi Kadir. Abdi አይሰማኝም ድምፅህ?
Yes, Allah.
Okay, if you have these words, this is the paragraph, right? The paragraph that we have taken from the Microsoft Word, if you remember previously. ከወርድ ላይ የወሰድነው አንድ ፓራግራፍ ነው። ይሄ ፓራግራፍ ነው። ይሄ ፓራግራፍ መጀመሪያ ላይ ክሬት ስናደርገው ስንት ወርዶች አሉት ብለናል? ስንት ሴንቴንሶች አሉት ብለናል?
በመሀል ፈርቼ ነበር ማለት።
ኦኬ ተስፋነሽ
አቤት
how many words do we have in this sentence? ቅድም ነበር አይደል? No. How many sentences are there?
ሰንቴንስ እርግጠኛ ወርዱን ነው 149
ነው። ይሄንን ረን ስናደርግ ምንድነው ተባብለናል? አንድ ፓራግራፍ ስንት ሴንቴንስ ያለው ተባብለናል? 10 ሴንቴንስ።
አይ በመሃል ተቋርጦ ስለነበረ ነው።
ኦኬ
ኮኔክሽን እያስቸገረኝ ነው ለዛ።
Okay. So we have already said that one paragraph that contains 10 different sentences. 10 ሴንቴንስ ያለው አንድ ፓራግራፍ እያለ ነው እዚህ ጋር 10 ሴንቴንስ ያለው አንድ ፓራግራፍ ማለታችን ነው። ይሄ ዴታ ማለት okay? So how can we separate one sentence from the other sentence? How can we separate one sentence from the other sentence? አድማሱ አንድ ሴንቴንስ ከአንዱ ሴንቴንስ በምን እንለያለን እንግሊዘኛ ቋንቋ ላይ? The full stop is going to be used in order to distinguish. Margia, how about if it is Amharic language? አንድ ሴንቴንስን ከሌላ ሴንቴንስ በምን እንለያለን? Okay, the 4 point is going to be. Is there any other possibilities? We can also use different things, right? For example, we can use the case like if you just wanted to separate one sentence from the other sentence, we can use the question mark, we can use the exclamation, and we can use also the 4 pointers when we አራት ነጥብ ምናት አለች አይደል አራት ነጥብ እኛውን አለች አይደል then we can separate you things at least these 3 elements okay እነዚህ 3 ኤሌመንቶች ምን እንጠቀምባቸዋለን sentence in the marker ነው now on this specific case I don't want to display the words okay rather I just wanted to find out the sentence okay so how can I extract the sentence from this one how can you separate the sentence from this ones okay let me take it these to the HP I don't know who is HP እዚህ ጋር ያሉ ሴንቴንሶችን እንዴት ሴፓሬት እናደርጋቸው በምን ሴፓሬት እናደርጋቸውና ሴንቴንስ እናገኝ HP I can't hear you እየተሰማችሁ ከሆነ ኤኮ አድርጉልኝ ፕሊዝ እዛ ክላስ ውስጥ ያላችሁ መርጊያ or ሀፍቴ or ቸሬ እየተሰማኝ አይደለም HP okay መርጊያ go ahead you are muted መርጊያ ይሰማል
አዎ ይሰማል
how we have said that we are going to separate one sentence from the other sentence using what a full stop
full stop መጠቀም ነው እዛ ላይ
yes
print word የምትለው ያለ
yes
በዛ መሃል ውስጥ ከፕሪንት ጋር ወርድ ጋር የሆነ ነገር መጠቀም ያስፈልገናል
ምን ያስፈልገናል እኮ that's what I'm looking for what we are going to add on that ones in order to perform in order to split the given paragraph into the sentence levels what do we need to have or how we are going to do that ones originally we don't have a data right
yes
so if we need to have let's say that SNT list sentence list ለማለት ብዬ ነው oh sorry I just converted in here to the Amharic okay SNT list this is to mean that sentence list SNT list is equivalent